Yes, friends, today we are going to speak on Thomas Alva Edison, a very, very important personality who gave wonder to the world of, yes, scientific inventions. Edison was born on February 11th, 1847, in Milan. He was the youngest of the seven children of Samuel and Nancy Edison. His father was an exiled political activist from Canada, while his mother was an accomplished school teacher and a major influence in, yes, Thomas Edison's life. Now, the family moved to Port Huron, Michigan, and he attended a private school. But then it is said that young Edison was a bit very active, hyperactive, you can say, in school. His teachers were a bit upset with all the questions that he used in the class. Usually, what happens is when a child is inquisitive, we, the teachers, really see to it that what is their issue, what are their problems, and why they are, inclined towards knowing a lot of things. But here, at the age of 12, it was a bit upset for the family when he was removed from the school. The reason, he used to ask silly questions like, why does the hen sit on the eggs? And when he got the answer that his mother explained to him, he used to sit on the eggs to know whether the chicks will be formed. So that was the inquisitive child. His mother, after he was pulled out of school for certain such questions that the teachers and the school felt he is a child who is confused, his mother quickly pulled him from school and taught him at home. At age 11, he showed a voracious appetite for knowledge, reading books on a wide range of subjects. In this wide open curriculum, Edison developed a process for self-education and learning independently that would serve him throughout his life. A turning point. At age 12, Edison convinced his parents to let him sell newspapers to passengers along the Grand Trunk Railroad. Exploiting his access to the news bulletins teletyped to the station office each day, Edison began publishing his own small newspaper called the Grand Trunk Herald. You see, that was the young Edison. And today our topic, of course, is the turning point in a leader's life, the turning point in an eminent personality's life. And almost all of these have grown up in a very common, simple family. The Rising, the up-to-date articles were a hit with passengers. Edison also used his access to the railroad to conduct chemical experiences in a small laboratory he set up. Yes. Now, during one of these experiments, a chemical fire started and the car caught fire. The conductor rushed in and struck Edison on the side of the head, probably furthering some of his hearing loss. Yes. What happened? He was kicked off the train and forced to sell his newspapers at various stations along the route. So, almost all of this as children are extraordinary. We also did about President APJ, who literally was happy when his teacher took him to the seashore of Rameshwaram and showed how the birds fly. So these are the special, you can say something special, a special genius So by age 15, he had learned enough to be employed as a telephone operator in 1866. At age 19, Edison moved to Louisville, that is at Kentucky, working for the Associated Press. The night shift allowed him to spend most of his time reading and experimenting. Here, he developed an unrestricted style of thinking and inquiry. Yes. Now, this is where he won, proving things to himself through objective examination and, yes, friends, experimentation. This shows how punctual, how disciplined, the attitude of a genius. When we talk about the next phase of his life, yes, very, very important development. He had to, he had to face a lot of difficulties, but he overcome all that. So once again, we will be just touching upon the fact that almost all these leaders had difficulties in life. But did they give up? No. Did they give up? No. In 1868, Edison returned home to find his beloved father. Now over here, we had to see upon the early life of Edison. When I said the night shift allowed him to spend most of his time reading, he also had this habit of whatever he had to capture in his future accomplishment in life. When Edison returned home to find his beloved mother was falling into mental illness and his father was out of work, the family was almost destitute. Yes, Edison realized he needed to take control of his future. Upon the suggestion of a friend, he ventured to Boston, landing a job for the Western Union Company. At the time, Boston was America's center for science and culture, and Edison He reveled in it. In his spare time, he designed and patented an electronic voting recorder for quickly tallying votes in the legislature. So, yes, this happened to be a very, very important phase of his life. When he realized he could, he could, he did it. The goal of his life. In 1869, at 22 years old, these are the inventions he did. Edison moved to New York City and developed his first invention, an improved stock ticker called the Universal Stock Printer, which synchronized several stock tickers transaction. The Golden Stock Telegraph Company was so impressed they paid him 40,000 pounds for the rights. Look at that. So with his success, he quit his work as a telegrapher to devote himself to full-time inventions and started his inventing journey. In 1870, he set up his first small laboratory and manufacturing facility in Newark, that's New Jersey. As an independent entrepreneur, Edison formed numerous partnerships and developed products for the highest bidder. Edison devised for Western Union the quadruplex telegraph capable of transmitting two signals in different directions on the same wire. But railroad tycoon Jay could snatch Gold, that is, he snatched the invention from Western Union, paying Edison more than 1 lakh pound in cash, bonds, and stock, and generating years of litigation. So, yes, he got stuck up in court litigations. In 1876, Edison moved his expanding operations to Menlo Park, New Jersey, and built an independent industrial research facility, incorporating machine shops. He didn't give up. There were difficulties, there were court procedures, but did he give up? No. So, yes, friends, he moved his expanding operations without any, looking back at all the troubles that he had to face. Now, when we come to the light bulb, his main inventions that give us joy today. In December 1877, Edison developed a method of recording sound, the phonograph. While Edison was not the inventor of the first light bulb, he came up with a technology that helped bring it to the masses. Edison was striving to perfect a commercially practical, efficient, incandescent light bulb, following English inventor Humphrey Davy's invention of the first early electric arc lamp in the 1800s. Yes, here starts the beginning of course, the bulb, which is equivalent to the term Thomas Alva Edison. We see, of course, after buying Woodward and Evans' patent and making improvements in his design, Edison was granted a patent for his own improved light bulb in 1879. In January 1880, Edison set out to develop a company that would deliver the electricity to power and light the cities of the world. That same year, Edison founded the Edison Illuminating Company, the first investor-owned electricity utility, which later became General Electric. So I hope you all enjoyed this wonderful topic on Thomas Alva Edison. I wish to hear from you more about him. I would conclude here. In December 1877, Edison developed a method for recording sound. So that was the starting point. And where did it all end? Yes, as I spoke, the GE was formed. The GE was formed in the 1800s, early 1800s. Now, did he stop at it? No. In 1887, Edison built an industrial research laboratory in New Jersey, which served as a primary research laboratory for the Edison lighting companies. Yes, he spent most of his time there supervising the development of lighting technology and power systems. He also perfected the phonograph and developed the motion picture camera and the alkaline storage battery. On April 23, Edison became the first person to project a motion picture, holding the world's first motion picture screening at Costa and Bells Music Hall in New York. So, friends, life wasn't easy. Edison designed a battery for the self-starter on the Model T for friend and admirer Henry Ford in 1912. The system was, of course, a very much appreciated one. Now, during World War II, the US government asked Edison to head the Naval Consulting Board, which examined inventions submitted for military use. Edison worked on several projects, including submarine detectors and gun location techniques. Edison died on October 18, 1931, from complications of diabetes in his home at the age of 84. Thank you, friends. That was a great leader who executed the first patent for his electrographic vote recorder on October 13 at the age of 21. So his last patent was an apparatus for holding objects during the electroplating process. During his lifetime, Edison received 1,093 US patents and filed an additional 500 to 600 that were unsuccessful or abandoned. But yes, he tried again. And that's the story today. Never give up. Bye.